Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi, Katie. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Oh, you're Kara. Sorry. Hi, Kara. I saw Katie pop on. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see both of you. So we have 4 more pet business owners that are joining us today, okay? And they're going to arrive in the next few minutes, but I just wanted to make sure the audio is working and everything. So I don't want to talk too much right now because I want it to be really fresh for people who hear. So I don't want us to like hash things out before everybody joins. So I'm just going to feel free to whatever you need to do right now. And we're going to start in just a minute. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Bridget.
I'm in. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Oh. And who is that? Who just arrived? I don't.
Oh, that's me.
Hi.
It's Madeline. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Maddie. Can I call you Maddie or Madeline?
Maddie's fine.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, you guys, for being on. We should have 2 more people joining us. So it'll be a nice, lively group. And I don't want to say too much or start talking too much because I really want it to be fresh once people arrive. So feel free to just, if you have things you need to do, go ahead and do them right now. And we'll start in just a couple minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for being here. And I'm just checking my email to make sure everybody's cool, that they don't need me.
Hopefully my cat's quiet. He's sleeping right
Oh,
mine just jumped on my lap.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh.
Your pets are so welcome. Oh, hello. Hi.
I had to kick mine out of the room because she'll run back and forth on the desk and then the camera will go like that.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey, sweetie. Can you help me turn the volume down? It's pretty loud. Can you help me turn the volume down? How do I turn the volume down here? My wonderful husband is he's my audio engineer. Yeah, in here. Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you. That's much better. Okay, thanks. Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I believe we have 1 more person joining us. And what was that? Yes, thank you. My husband in a past life was an audio engineer, and he's been so amazing helping me. So I'm going to turn off my Facebook here, and we're going to see if we have that 6th person arriving. I'm going to give them a couple minutes, and they might actually just pop in. Okay, well, let me check my email one more time. Okay, all right. We're going to go ahead and start, you guys. So, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for being here today. I know you guys are in the thick of it right now. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Holy cow. Yeah, it's been an intense time, and on so many levels. And I just am so grateful that you all are here. And I was really drawn to each one of you being on today because of what you were posting in the Prosperous Pet Business Facebook group and the positivity that you guys are the tasks that you're doing in your business right now that are positive, even in the midst of this intense challenge. And that was just really inspiring to me. So I want to thank you so much for being on today. And, I really wanted to use this opportunity to have you on to really reach out to those pet business owners who are suffering right now, because a lot are really suffering. And I know on some levels you guys are too. So it just really means a lot to have you here today. So I would love to have you guys just, if you would, take just a moment to introduce yourself, each one of you, and to say where you're located, and if you feel like it, your business name. If you don't want to share your last name, you don't have to. You can be anonymous. You can just say your first name. It's up to you. And yeah, let's start there. And then my intention for this time today is to have a really open and honest discussion of what's happening in your pet business. As much or as little as you want to share is fine. And then, because I was so drawn to you and your positivity, I want to talk about that, what you guys are doing in your respective businesses right now during this time. A lot of you have a lot of time. And so I want to know what you're doing in your business. So who wants to start by introducing yourself?
I can go first.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you.
My name is Maddie, and I'm located in Rhode Island, which is the smallest state, obviously. So I don't really have one city I work in. I work in basically a whole county, and I'm a business of one. Mm-hmm. I own Trails and Tails Pet and Equine Services, and I do everything from typical dog walking to overnight to I also care for horse farms and horses and exercise ride and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I've been in business, I've been pet sitting since I was like 10.
Yeah.
And I worked as a vet tech for a while, and it was really hard on me. And I was like, no, I'm just going to try to do this. And mm-hmm. just went out and put everything into it. And it just keeps happening. I'm like, oh, I'm going to stop this year. And then I just keep going.
And it sounds like your business doesn't want to stop.
No, I have a hard time saying no. I don't really advertise. All of my clients, I get word of mouth from other clients, and they just keep coming back. I went through the whole thing where I had older dogs I was taking care of, and I said, oh, when the dogs pass away, then I'll just stop. And then they get puppies, and they get puppy because they know, oh, we'll just call Maddie. So, mm-hmm. And it just goes on. And my dad lives in a local town that, everybody knows everybody. And they'll be like, oh, I met this girl walking. Her name's Maddie. And he's like, oh, that's my daughter. So yeah,
oh, you're well known.
Yeah. Which is funny. So
yeah, that's so cute. I had that when I started my business. I lived in this little town, Tiburon, in California, and people kind of called me like the Pope of Tiburon, because I would go into the grocery store and people would be like, hey, Kristin, hey, Kristin, hey, Kristin.
You're like, oh, do I actually know you?
I know your pets.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I have people who will text me and their name will pop up, but if a picture of their dog is not their profile picture, I'm like, oh my God, who is this?
Yes, exactly.
So, but I do love it. And it does get hard. I got married in September and never thought I'd get married. And he just came out of nowhere. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I like being home. Like I have a home and I have a place to live now. And I want to be there. And I have an 8-year-old stepson now that I absolutely adore. And he'll come over on the weekends, and I'll have to leave and go do an overnight or go do night checks till 2 a.m. Plus I'm in a band, and I like to show my horse. So but I make it work.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for showing up today. Appreciate that. Okay. Who's next? Who wants to introduce yourself and your business?
I can go next.
Okay, great.
So my name is Katie Ballard. I am the owner of Nona Paws Pet Sitting, and I live in Orlando. And so I'm pretty new to all of this. I started pet sitting last year in April, and so my business has grown pretty fast. I have 70 clients now, and I just started the LLC in January.
Mm-hmm.
So so I'm just trying to use this time, to work on the business side of things. But I'm also a middle school counselor, and so I keep busy doing that too.
Yeah, I bet you do. It's probably helpful right now having that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I feel very fortunate to have that.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're here, Katie. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, great.
All right, so I'm Bridget Wasson, and I have Good Dogs Pet Sitting in Sonoma County, California. And I have been an animal lover all my life. I actually started volunteering at an animal shelter right after high school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was how I kind of got into this crazy world of animal care and rescue and welfare. And then I started my first business in 1995 in the San Mateo County when things were really wealthy. It was a .com boom, and everybody had a dog walker, a cook, a maid, a nanny. It was great. I made so much money, and I was in my 20s, so I thought it was never going to end. But it did when it all went bust. And so the business slowed down considerably at that time, but I got through it. And I sold that business after about 10 years and got back into animal sheltering, which I did for a while longer, and then retired from that and got back into pet sitting. So I kind of did it off and on over the years, but started another real serious business about 7 or 8 years ago, which was Good Dogs Pet Sitting. And I really enjoy doing that. It's taken a long time to build up because now I'm on the northern end of Sonoma County. So it's kind of a smallish area, town of about 9,000 people. And I don't want to drive too far because of traffic. So it's taken a long time to build up in a more local area, which is totally worth it. But of course, with what's happening now, I was just saying how things were going swimmingly. There were dog walks and overnights, and things were just improving exponentially, and then bam, nothing. Just literally overnight, from very busy to zero.
Yeah, that's hard. It's interesting because I started my business in Marin County, Bridget, in Tiburon, like I said, and expanded to Sonoma County and found that Sonoma County, so I was covering both areas and had a large staff of people, but I found Sonoma County was kind of a tricky area to start. And I was surprised because Marin was actually fairly easy. I wouldn't say easy, but fairly easy. But Sonoma County was tricky. It was, I think, because people are so connected there. It has more of a neighborhood feel to it, and people are just maybe more connected to each other. And so a lot of word of mouth I found worked better than other forms of advertising in that area.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know since we're a two-person business, and since we've lived here over the years, as we made more connections and got to know more people, things definitely improved. Although doing things like improving the website and improving SEO helped for like new people coming to town or people that we hadn't met who suddenly needed a pet sitter. But you're right. Most people who have lived here for a long time already have something set up. A friend, a neighbor, a relative, they exchange with somebody. So unless that person stops helping them, which sometimes they do, it can be hard to get in with people who've been established here longer than we have.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for being here. Okay, so who's next? Who hasn't introduced themselves?
I'm going to flip on Bridget here.
Hello.
So, my name's Jennifer Maroney. I own Critter Sitters and More. And I launched the business under that name 5 years ago. I did it under another name 2 years prior. But when I wanted to bring on a team, I said, okay, I need to kind of totally rebrand the business. And I have, the exact opposite. I live on the Virginia Peninsula. We've got 6 military bases that I can travel to, plus plus the shipyard, plus multiple hospitals, plus Anheuser-Busch, Jefferson Lab. So we have this constant influx of people coming into the area that know nobody and, are looking for, somebody to take care of their pets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have their well-established neighbors or coworkers or friends from high school who are going to do it for them.
Uh-huh.
And so, I had hoped, watching what was happening, a couple of weeks ago, I had hoped that, being in this area would kind of immune us a little bit from that.
Mm-hmm.
But even, when the Air Force Base and the Army base and the Marine base and the Coast Guard started saying, yeah, we don't want y'all coming to work.
Mm-hmm.
There's not, the essential people are still there, and, the Navy will send their ships out to sea.
Yeah.
And, but it really, I think it was really within the last week, so we were kind of at that tail end of it. Suddenly everything just died.
Mm-hmm.
And, and interestingly enough, I'm having to text my clients, the ones who had booked for spring break, which starts this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, dude, you haven't canceled your services. I can't believe you're traveling.
Yeah, don't do it.
Our state just finally went into a state of emergency.
Yeah.
But, because we've had that trickle down effect, I've been able to keep my team working as long as possible. I pulled off the visits 3 weeks ago and said, everybody else take this on. I see what's happening, and let's just, y'all ride it out as long as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. Well, I am really just so happy you're here today, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about the positive steps you're taking. And also, a little bit more about what's happening in your business. So our last person, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, so my name is Kara Brockman. I own Kara Pet Care in downtown Chicago. We actually just celebrated our 7th anniversary on Saturday. So kind of bittersweet timing.
Yeah.
But we originally started in Manhattan in New York City, and we transitioned to downtown Chicago about 3 years ago. And we are primarily vacation-based pet care, and we do a lot of special needs care. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, I feel like this affected us a lot sooner than some of the major midday dog walking companies where people were still able to utilize them while they were working from home. So we are basically closed down aside from a few essential visits for our doctors and healthcare professionals that we're still providing care for.
Wow. How is that for you? I mean, I can imagine, but I'm wondering how you're doing.
It's been interesting. I will say that the buildings I am going into are more concerned about me coming than the doctors are.
Interesting.
So, I mean, it has been kind of reassuring to be able to talk to the doctors and hear what's going on and their opinions of stuff. But as long as they feel comfortable with me coming, like I'm okay still providing that service for them. So
yeah, that I would imagine that would be comforting. Yeah. So let's start with you, Kara. So what have been the challenges? I mean, I've heard of some. It sounds like you're shutting down your business. If there's any others you want to share. And then also what tasks are you doing now during this shutdown?
So I think the hardest part of all of this is just the unknown. Mm-hmm. At first, I know we didn't know how bad it was going to be. And I still had people requesting services when people were starting to get the cancellations. So it was kind of a moment of like, we don't really know what to expect. And then I think like a week ago is when everything started shutting down. And that's when like the little bit of panic comes in and you just don't know how long it's going to be. Is it going to be a month? Is it going to be 12 months? Like, you don't know. And that's the part that's a little unsettling for me. But I will say I was listening to a talk that Ed Milet did about the 2 most important questions to ask yourself in a time of crisis. Mm-hmm. And I thought that they could be relevant for this. Right. But one of them was, how is this happening for you? And one of them was, what is this trying to teach you? So I've kind of tried to use those 2 to be like, how can this be good for my business? What can I do during this downtime that I couldn't do before? So I know anyone who has talked to me has probably heard me say for years, I wish I had more time at home. I wish I had more time to walk my dog. I wish I had more time to do X, Y, Z in my business, but I'm just so busy that I don't have the time to do it. So I've really, we all want that week off to like catch up on sleep, catch up on our housework, catch up on our office work. And while it's not really a chosen time off, it's kind of a forced pause on the business. I think it's still a good opportunity to do some of that stuff. Mm-hmm.
There was a conference speaker that I interviewed a number of years ago named Heidi Schleifer, and she's a therapist, and she works primarily with couples. But when I had her on to talk about communicating with your clients when you have challenges and with your staff, and she's just such a skillful communicator. And one of the things that she said, which has really been in my ear a lot, I've been feeling her presence around me and just her words in my ear. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's like she'd say, when you experience a challenge in your life, it's similar to what you were saying, Kara. What an opportunity. What an opportunity. Why is this happening to me? And instead, why is this happening for me? I think that's so powerful. So powerful. And, I hear over and over, I work with so many pet business owners who are just totally fried, at their wits' end because they're so busy all the time. And I don't wish this on anyone. I don't wish this on anyone's business. I don't wish this on anybody's personal life, financial life, emotional life, physical life. And what an opportunity. What a rare opportunity. This may never come. Hopefully this will never happen again in our lifetime, right? And here it is. And how can we use this time in a way that is going to benefit us, in a way that when we look back, we will say, what an opportunity. Yeah. So I really appreciate what you said, Kara. That's great.
And one other thing that someone said to me is to think about, like, how do we want our businesses to be different when we come back, when everything starts picking up again and people start traveling again, because eventually they will.
They will.
How do you want your business to be different? Do you need to set it up differently? Were you going to hire people? And just think about things like that. Do you need to add supplemental sources of income into your business so you're not just pet sitting or dog walking? I know I added pet nutrition into my business about 1.5 years ago, and I'm very thankful for that now. Other people I know have been, getting certifications in dog training. So just different areas of the pet industry that you could even add to your business.
Yeah, wise words. That's great. Okay, who is next? Who wants to share what's going on in your business right now, what your business looks like, and also some positive experiences, the opportunities that you're experiencing? Just dive in.
I can go again.
Okay, great. Oh. Go ahead, Maddie.
Go ahead. Okay. I'm basically taking this, like I made the post on Facebook about how it's given me an opportunity to see how I can survive without overnights, because that's really my biggest thing. I mean, doing the night checks and being out sometimes till 2:00 in the morning, because it's just me. I had a girl who worked for me for a short period, and she moved out to North Dakota last minute. So I had a ton of stuff booked already, thinking she'd be there to help, which is really tough. But, you know, I've made it work, and my husband comes with me on the night checks and things like that. But it was definitely one of those things where I kept saying, oh, maybe if I could just do the dog walking. And I work at the barn my horses are boarded at to help, you know, supplement the cost of them. Mm-hmm. And I also signed up for an equine and canine massage class, but because I'm so busy working and doing all the overnights and driving around all day and racking up mileage, I never got to take the classes. So I'm paying for the classes, but not taking them. So it's kind of given me that opportunity to get back into it and seeing basically what it would be like to come home every day at the end of the day and just be able to stay there. And it's definitely, it's been amazing. Like, it sucks because obviously my wallet is empty. So if anything bad happens, we're kind of like, oh, we'll figure it out. But I'm really liking this time that I can spend at home, and the time I can spend at the barn, it would always be show up, do my shift, brush the horses, maybe ride. But when you have a passion like that, you work so hard for it. I mean, horses aren't cheap, like, you know, most things, and you work so hard to, you know, pay for that passion, but you can't enjoy it. So it's kind of giving me that opportunity where I can just go to the barn and I can ride, and then I can come home and I can get it all done. So that's
great.
Yeah. And I have to say that my clients are really supportive of everything that I do. I mean, I had one saying, oh, are you looking for anything? I'm like, oh, I can't find bananas. And she went out and got me like a bag of bananas. And so, and it's always, they're like, oh, we can prepay you and stuff like that, which I don't really expect from people because I know it's just as hard. I have a ton of friends who have small businesses reaching out for help and buy gift certificates and do this and do that. And it's like, I would love to help you, but I'm stuck too. So it's definitely, like Kara said, it definitely makes you think, okay, do I have kind of a net? Do I have something else where this is not what I rely on all the time? So, but it's oddly, it's been a good experience. There's definitely a silver lining in this, and I'm just trying to keep to that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Go ahead and dive in.
I'll go next.
Great.
All right. So I think this whole crisis situation came on as kind of a slow burn because I know this virus started kind of late last year, like November, December, but then it literally started changing by the week and by the day and by the hour with what was happening and the illnesses and deaths and then the restrictions starting, and it just kind of snowballed into the situation that it is today. So I find myself, oddly enough, because I've struggled a lot in my life at different times with financial and other issues, and I've had really bad stress. But right now, for some reason, I'm not, because I feel like I'm not alone, and I'm not happy that this is happening to everyone else. I mean, this is a terrible situation in many ways, but I feel like we are literally and truly all going through this together. I'm not the only one sitting here worrying how I'm going to make ends meet. This is literally everyone in the country, everyone in the world.
That's right.
And especially for pet sitters, pet businesses, small business owners, we're, wondering what's around the corner. But I guess I've got to have some faith that there will be some incentives and programs and things that will develop in time to help people get back on their feet. Because if everybody in the whole country suddenly can't pay their bills, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But one of the positives for me is that with that sense of community, like with your group and other Facebook groups that I'm in and talking to other pet sitters locally is finding ideas for things to do. And one of those was gift certificates. I heard that pet sitters were doing that. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try. So we sent out an email to all of our clients saying, you know, we're struggling like all small business owners. If you could help us out. And I offered a small discount for buying like a package of visits for future. And I was amazed at the response. The phone was just going, I went to bed, it was pink. I go to bed early. It was like 8 o'clock. Ping, 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 the phone with all these messages from people saying, I'll buy 10 visits, I'll buy 3 overnights. I'll just give you X amount of money towards my next trip, whenever that is. So it was an amazing response and a caring response, not just like, oh yeah, I can save some money. I mean, that was an incentive, but some of them even said, no, don't give me the discount. You know, we know you're having a hard time. We want to help you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And so we were able to, you know, get some money in the bank to pay the bills. And of course, when the day comes, you know, then I realized we won't get the money at that time because we already got it. But with the business being very busy, you know, it'll be a drop in the bucket by that time. Because there'll be many other people traveling and needing dog walks and other services. But as I said in my message to you earlier, what really amazed me about this was this kind of like a realization of a symbiotic relationship between us and the clients. Now, I'm very business-like. I'm not a very bubbly person. I don't like to make friends with clients. I mean, I'm friendly, and it's a small town, so it's hard not to because you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
You try to be dressed. You try not to get too drunk, you know, because you're going to be seen by your clients and everybody else. It's a small town, you know.
It's kind of like being a celebrity.
Right. Yeah, the dog.
Don't screw it up.
Right, the dog celebrity. Somebody will see you if you don't get dressed to go down to the market to get coffee or something like that. So, but what I found was that people really do care about us as people. You know, it's not just a business. And they were really concerned about our health and are we okay? And a lot of them are small business owners as well, or they have a combination like a part-time job and a business that they do. And for example, one of our clients has a small farm, which is a sanctuary for sheep. And she's also an artist. So she makes things from their wool. She makes like dryer balls and other wool items. She does these felt wrap soaps and little bath and beauty items. Well, her business dried up too because all the stores are closed. Yeah. All these little boutique stores that sell her stuff are not open. So it's just online, her Etsy shop. So I went ahead and ordered a bunch of stuff from her. And actually, I ordered hand lotions to give away because we're all washing our hands 100 times a day. So I thought that would be a cute thing to give as little gifts and, you know, to help her out. And then I saw she posted on her Facebook page, she started offering a gift certificate because she had bought a gift certificate package. Yeah. So I was like, that's so cool. She probably
inspired her.
Yeah. She got the idea like, hey, I can, you know, get some money in the bank and pay the bills and keep things going until a better time. So
that's great.
It was again, that we're not alone and there's, and we can help each other. You know, I think I spent maybe $40 on her product. So it wasn't like a ton of money, but I know that helped her and I shared it and other people bought a few things too. So, you know, that's going to help her get through these couple of months or however long it's going to be.
Yeah. This has really shined a light on small business in a way that nothing has in a very long time. And I think that's a gift as well, you know, that has come out of this is really the awareness for a lot of people about how small business really does depend on their customers. Yeah. And I love that you were supporting her and she was supporting you.
Yeah. That was so cool.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing about the gift certificate idea. I think that's a really valuable idea for pet business owners who are,
and that's the value of us all sharing these ideas, because another person will have another idea, and then we can try that.
Exactly. Thank you, Bridget. Okay, who's next? Who wants to jump in? Go ahead.
Okay, I can.
Okay, great, Katie.
So my business, I have primarily all vacation folks. I have only 2 regulars, and they're both medical folks. So they're the only people I have now, just those 2 people when they go to work. So before all of this happened, I was averaging like around 30 visits a week. And then I work as a school counselor on top of that. So a lot of them were just on the weekends or, of course, before, after work. And so now it's dropped down to just those 2 people pretty much. And now starting tomorrow night, we're under a stay-at-home order here in Orange County in Florida. So, so definitely nobody else other than the medical folks. So, but in a way it has been good for my business because it's allowed me time to develop it. Because before this, I had been so busy that I didn't have time to really work on creating a Facebook page or my logo or anything like that. And it's funny, I actually started creating my Facebook page in January and I had it hidden. I was too scared to have it go live because I'm like thinking, I can't take on any more people. Like, I'm so scared. So like I would talk to my clients and they knew about it and they kept asking me, so when is it going live? And I said, well, I'm still working on it. But in reality, I was more like hiding under the covers because I like just was too scared to have more publicity and stuff. So right now, since I have so much more time, I've been alternating between painting my whole house and then when I'm breaking from that, then I'm working on my logo and some business contracts because I'm thinking about having some people start helping me.
Good.
So I feel like in a way, so I did have it go live, my Facebook page, a couple days ago. I thought this is the perfect time because
it is.
I can have it go live and then I can't get a million requests. So I can like put it out there and then hide also.
Yeah, you can do both.
It's perfect.
Yeah, you can dip your toe in.
That's exactly what my mom said when I talked to her.
Did you paint your room that you're in?
Not yet.
Okay, because it looks like you did. It's a beautiful color.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
No. But yeah, those are the tasks I'm doing and it's going really well. So I hope that once this is all said and done that I can just come back stronger and ready to expand and I'll be ready for more people at the same time.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Katie. Okay, our final person. Hello.
Well, I've been focused on 2 things. First of all, self-care. And if anybody has been in pet sitting for more than 2 days?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have time for self-care when you're busy. So I've actually enjoyed the break in the fact that I don't feel like I have to rush down to my desk in the morning and be at my chair at 7 a.m., double checking the schedule and responding to last minute client emergencies. And so, my mornings have been wonderful in the fact that I've been able to meditate, enjoy that cup of coffee in quiet and peace, and get some exercise in and do some serious meal planning, which will help me shed that 15 pounds I put on in the last 2 years. So, having that in my life has been amazing. And it's kind of reminded me that I have a huge team so that I don't have to do everything. And so I'll be excited when we get back into, let's hope it's no more than another 8 weeks at this point. But when we get back into the business of business, that I'll remind myself that I've got a team who's looking to, make money. I don't necessarily need to be on, out at every other visit.
That's right.
The other thing is I've had the wonderful opportunity to make all these little tweaks and documents that I had been wanting to do. So there was an update to my service contract that I wanted to make. We had, and I think it was just a recommendation when I first started the business about 6 or 7 years ago, that, your clients have collars on your dogs. Well, we walked in a house one night where a dog was choking itself because the collar had become, caught in the cage.
Oh, wow.
And, we had been warning our clients, not to do that, but, actually making the update in the service agreement saying, don't have collars on your dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make sure they don't escape, and we'll put the collar on when we get them, before we take them out of the house.
Yeah.
So just that little tweak that honestly, it's almost been a year now that I've been
Mm-hmm.
wanting to finalize, I was able to do. And not only that, notify my clients
Great.
that we'd made this, change in our service agreement, and that the next time they logged into the portal, they're going to be asked to accept this change. And,
Great.
So that has just having that off the back of my mind has been wonderful. And then, Kristin, I think it was probably 2 months ago, you had a wonderful workshop on hiring. And I'm always looking for wonderful tips to hire. And I signed up for it knowing I was going to have to watch the replay. And I got to watch the replay earlier this week because I had time to dedicate to it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know I'll be able to come out of this strong. And I had been, kind of playing with the idea of converting my team from independent contractors to employees to protect them, protect me, to protect my business. And I was able to reach out to, to my CPA and said, this is the year we're doing it.
Great.
And so she's got time because she just has time.
Well, taxes got, well, yeah, there's been an extension.
Do this, and I can take on payroll for you, and
great.
you're not going to have to worry about getting this right. So it's just nice.
That's great.
I would have put that off until probably next January if I had this time to do it now.
Yeah, it's powerful, isn't it? I mean, even that little tweak in the service contract, like you were saying, it was kind of niggling at you in the back of your mind, it sounds like, for a year.
Yes.
And now it's gone.
Yes.
Yeah. It's powerful to have those little things
and
dealt with.
Communicating all of this with my team. In fact, we have quarterly team meetings, and one is going to be Saturday. And I had decided 2 weeks ago we were going to do it via Zoom. So, I'll be able to update them. I've given them little trickles that this is happening, but I'll be able to update them and give them the full reasons behind why this is all better for our clients and why that this is all better for them as a team. And so I just find that we're in a really exciting time to be able to sit back and analyze and review and do what's best for everybody involved.
It's great. I love that attitude and that reframe, around what's happening for you. So I'd love to talk a little bit about the emotional side of this, because for a lot of you, I'm imagining you're experiencing a lot of feelings around what's happening, and the antidote to that, or the balm for the emotional realm of what's happening, is the self-care, right? The self-care piece. So do you want to start with that? Jennifer, do you want to start with what's like, how this has been for you emotionally and the self-care that you've been doing? I know you shared a little bit about that, but I'd love to hear more.
I think the biggest emotional piece right now is my team and how they are struggling. I'm very fortunate that, My husband is a retired military man. He's in his second career. And even though he hasn't been to work for a week and a half, and I have to look at him, no, it's been interesting. He's given me my space. We're okay for the time being, even though I don't have personally the income coming in that I'm used to. So for me, the biggest stress has been my team. How are they going to handle it? Because I know once this has passed, again, our community is just a great community, and we have lots of options here, and the ability to bring in new clients, and our clients, are going to rebook once this is all over. I've got them apologizing for canceling going. As soon as we can travel, we're going to travel. As soon as I'm back to work, we're going to continue to, pick up our middays again. And actually we have 3 people who we anticipate even through April, we're going to continue doing midday dog walking. So that's where my, big headache is is everybody else okay?
Yeah.
I've been fortunate years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I worked for our local Chamber of Commerce. And so I got into networking at a, very young age. And I've been a part of lots of groups, and particularly a lot of business women. And self-care has always been a big topic. So I've been, over the years, a part of many self-care groups, in Facebook. But I think more so, just having time now to reach out and focus on that. And we turned our spare bedroom into a workout room.
Great.
So, and I always knew I really didn't have the energy or the extra 20 minutes to get to and from the gym, but I can turn on YouTube and download, a meditation video, or, put on a yoga video and squeeze that into the pockets of my day that I've had time for. So, and honestly, I like doing it now at 8:30 a.m. versus 6:30 a.m.
Yeah. You're discovering your natural rhythm.
Right, exactly.
Like,
So,
that's great.
So I just think, and journaling. Journaling has been a big part of my life in the last year. Getting up in the mornings and writing my intentions for the day, how I'm going to view the day, how I am going to react to the situations, how I am, focused on my goals for the year, and I love that. And then at night, and I'm better at this now that I'm not so exhausted the last 3 weeks, writing, 10 things that I'm grateful for that I've seen in my day, and just constantly remind myself. And it's little things. Sometimes, it's just, I'm grateful that I got to cuddle with my dog for an extra 5 minutes today. Or I'm grateful that my husband put away the dishes so I could check in with one of my team. But just trying to remind myself that there is, the positive part of every bit of my day that I can focus on.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, who's next? I want to talk about what you've been going through emotionally, and then the self-care that you're doing.
I'll go.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard for me to know how I'm feeling. I have a tendency to suppress my emotions, so it's hard for me to know what I'm feeling right at this moment. I tend to be strong and get through things. So I may have a total meltdown when this is all over. I don't know. But I think I also look at it from a real global and historical perspective, because I'm just fascinated with history, and I'm constantly watching or listening to videos and documentaries about things like the plague and the climate change during the Middle Ages, and all of these times where people suffered and things changed and became very different. and how people survived and got through those times and went on with their lives. And I just see this as another time like that. And again, it's that feeling of not being alone, even if it's our ancestors from hundreds of years ago. They may not be here with us today, but their memories are here. They had difficult experiences and they got through them. So in regarding self-care, I'm also a horse person. And before this all came down, yeah, and I love horses. I love working with horses. When you're with a horse, you cannot be thinking about other things. All of your focus is on the horse, or else you won't be productive, and it can even be dangerous if you're distracted. You are in the present moment with horses. I call it the herd mentality mind meld. You just kind of become one with them, and you're communicating, and nothing else exists. So it's a wonderful escape from any kind of problems or worries. Now, before this all came down, I was in the process of buying a horse and importing a horse from Canada. So this couldn't be a worse time financially, but I had already made the decision and sent the money and started the process, because I was like, I'll just make it up in the next few months, all this money that I've spent. And then kaboom, that's not going to happen. But it was kind of too late to back out. But also I thought, I need something to look forward to. I need something to feel happy about. And when I get this horse, she's exactly what I wanted. I'm really looking forward to working with her. And I also have more extra time now. So this is a good time that, when you have a new horse, a young horse, you can work with them every day, or at least several times a week, not just on the weekend. That, that won't be very productive. So So that gives me something to look forward to, something to focus on and set goals and work on and enjoy that time when I have all this free time, because that'll change. And hopefully by the time it does change, I'll, start having a relationship with the new horse. So if I have less time, that won't be a problem.
Great. Oh, I love that. I'd love to see a picture of your new horse when you.
Oh, I'll send it as soon as she arrives. Yeah, she's coming on Sunday.
That's exciting. Congratulations, your new baby. Yeah. So sweet. Okay, who's next? Just dive in.
I can go.
Okay, great.
I had a train of thought and now it's gone. I'm really enjoying sleeping. That is like a huge thing. I have to say, I slept till, I had Sunday off from the barn, and I think we slept till like 10 o'clock. I usually get up between 4 and 4:30 every day. And It was for the first time I didn't panic that I forgot something or I didn't have something to do, because I didn't really have anything to do. But when it comes to the emotional aspect of it, I'm kind of a roll with the punches kind of thing. Like I see all these memes where most horse people and animal people, they come from a mental health aspect where they probably already have an anxiety or a social issue or depression and things like that. So already I'm set up for the end of the world, as you could say.
Catastrophizing. So
prepared for work. Exactly. So this is kind of like, I think them was like, well, everyone's freaking out that everyone's freaking out. It's the end of the world. And everyone here with anxiety is like, this is what we've been preparing for our whole lives. So I'm not really freaking out yet. I have a really good support group. Like I said, I've always been pretty resilient. I've never not had a job. I've always had 2, 3, 4 jobs at a time. I mean, horses are expensive. And it's just, I'm ready. I try to be ready for everything, because you never know what's going to happen. You can't always prepare. And this, the self-care aspect, like I said, sleeping has been amazing. I started reading books again. I started running again. And like Bridget said about the horses, like it's nice to be able to just go and not have to worry about where I have to rush off to later. I event. So eventing is very...
Oh, your audio's cutting out.
Eventing is a sport where you have to wear your, oh, is it working again?
Yeah.
Basically, eventing is a sport where you ride a horse and your blood type and your insurance information is on a card attached to your arm. So, you know, it just, you really need to pay attention to what you're doing when you're working with the horses and when you're riding and when you're jumping. You can't be thinking about the million things you have to do at the end of the day. And, but the number one thing is I'm spending time with this new family that I have, and it's been amazing.
That's so sweet. Yeah. What an unexpected gift, huh? Yeah. It's so funny when you said sleep, like everyone laughed, including me. Like,
I'll sleep over shower any day now.
Oh, me too, girl. Believe me. Okay, who's next? Who wants to share? Who hasn't yet?
I can go.
Okay, great.
So I guess I just haven't really stopped to think about that until now when you asked. And I think part of me is in denial. Like, I can't believe this is going on. Like, I feel like this is in a movie. Like, this doesn't really happen in real life. This is what you watch on TV or in a movie, and but it's happening now. And so I don't think I've really fully processed all of that. But when I really sit down and think about it, I think I'm most scared about the unknown and not knowing how long it will be like this, and just worried for my family, like, you know, my mom, my dad, and my grandpa. You know, they're older, and so they're just more susceptible to this. And so those are some things that I guess I worry about when I think about things more in depth. Coping, well, I just try to stay really busy. I feel like that's one reason why I haven't really sat down and thought about it, because I feel like whenever my to-do list is really long, I just keep going and I just don't stop and think. And so I'm terrible about self-care, especially when my gym is closed down. So that doesn't help. But I am really good about going to bed like at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And my cat, he's like my alarm clock. He starts meowing at me, and so that's really great. But yeah, just I think I just can't believe that this is happening, and I'm just very fortunate financially to have a full-time job to fall back on right now too. So I feel very blessed there.
Thank you. Kara, did you want to share anything?
Sure. I mean, I think I said earlier, like, the not knowing how long has been the hardest part for me. So I'll have like a really good day where clients will email me, you know, their support and wanting to buy gift cards. And then I'm like, okay, we'll get through this. And then I'll watch the news or something and it'll bring me right back down. So I've tried to really limit the news as much as possible while still being informed. One of the things that has really helped me is just like getting out and walking my dog, social distancing, of course, but like having a little bit of fresh air. I live all by myself, so I haven't had like the opportunity to spend more time with my family because they're hours away in a different state. And we actually have someone in my building that was diagnosed with the coronavirus. So we're really like, no one in the building is, you know, we're limiting elevators together, all kinds of precautions. So the one thing though that has been nice is that a lot of people, I feel like, are reconnecting more, whether that's through texting or calling or doing Zooms. And it's just nice to reconnect with everyone and try to stay, you know, as social as possible, even when you're not with some people physically. So
a lot of pet business owners live alone I've been talking to a number of them, some of my coaching clients. And do you have any words of wisdom besides what you've shared, like things that have worked for you in terms of getting your needs met so that you're not so lonely? Anything you can share?
I mean, I'm very grateful for my dog.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not entirely alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been, talking to a lot of people over the phone and via Zoom, and trying to stay connected as much as possible. Not totally isolating and, cutting everyone else out. So that's about the best that I can really come up with right now.
That's great. That's enough. Yeah. It's kind of all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we end here, you guys, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for giving of your time and your energy and being here. And it feels so good to be connected with each one of you, in this way. It's beautiful. And each one of you, I'm just like, oh, I want to take you home with me, each one of you. You're so sweet. But are there any final words of wisdom that you would have for the pet business owners out there who are really struggling? Maybe just like one or two sentences, either around self-care or emotional care or business care, just like one or two sentences. Do you want to start, Kara? Is there anything you can say that would be helpful?
I mean, the one thing I think that we will all get through this. And if there's one thing that I've noticed over the years of being in the pet industry, like we have some of the strongest and most determined people and caring people in this industry. So if anyone is struggling, I know the Facebook groups have been amazing. People have been encouraging people to reach out. There's a lot of support resources. I mean, even reach out to me,
Aww.
We're all in this together. So I think we'll all get through it together.
Thank you, Kara. Yeah, appreciate that. Anyone else? Final words of wisdom.
I totally agree with Kara. It's every group that I'm in, whether it's through one of the professional associations I belong to, or, honestly scrolling through the feed that has been posted on the Prosperous Pet Business, or, our area, we've got some, local pet sitter chats, and, they're talking about doing Zoom calls to encourage each other, and it's just really a sharing and caring community. And, you don't have to figure it out yourself. Just ask the question and somebody will pop out an answer for you. Nothing else, they're willing to listen to you when you're at your worst, and, help you encourage and get through it until you're at your best again.
Yes, well said. And I will have a link to the Prosperous Pet Business Facebook group in the show notes here for the podcast. So just so if you guys are itching to join, these lovely ladies are a part of it, and they're just an incredible resource of love and support. Yeah. Anyone else?
I guess my advice would be more on a practical level. I don't know what to tell people about self-care other than finding what makes you happy and works for you and doing it since you have the time. But I think on a practical level, I know what helps me is just writing things down, looking at my budget. Now I type on computer. In the earlier days, I would write it down on a piece of paper, because generally what is reality is never as bad as what you imagine. And so looking at your banking, making a budget, and working on your pet business. But also there are other opportunities out there, like the census is hiring. I got a job with the census, so it's flexible and part-time. It's probably going to get bumped back a few months, so it's not like you're going to make money this week, but it's just something I know I have that in the bag. It'll be a little extra money in a couple of months. And other opportunities like that are passive income, like content creation, late last year, I started a blog and a YouTube channel. So it's far from being monetized, but right now I have time to work on content, and these are things that are really helping a lot of people be successful. So you have time to work on these things. Hopefully you'll make money, but even if not, it keeps you occupied. It gives you things to research. You're helping people. So these are all things that'll keep you busy and maybe be a financial opportunity as well.
That's right. Thank you, Bridget. Anyone else before we end here?
I guess for me, like how I've tried to use this time, and maybe how others could try to use it too, is just to try to stay positive and maybe make a list of to-do items / goals and of things you want to achieve, and then just try to think of steps on how you're going to get there. So just use this time to kind of regroup and plan your next steps so that you're more successful once you're up and running again.
Yeah, to do some visioning and goal setting and implementing if that feels right. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. Maddie, did you want to share anything?
I was actually on a dog walk today, and a couple kids were outside because everyone's home, and they were writing on the sidewalk, and a little girl wrote, everything will be okay. And that's kind of what I'm going for right now. So
everything will be okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And I want a horse now.
I know, me too.
I've only ever
do it. Don't do
it. Good. Whenever I'm making the big bucks again, I am going to go get me a horse.
You girl.
This is a perfect opportunity. Go volunteer at a rescue.
Yeah.
Before you decide to buy a horse.
That's right. Thank you, everyone, for being on today. I really, really appreciate it. And I wish you all the best. And I will see you in the Facebook group.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kristin, for all you did.
Take care. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
Take care,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
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 Bye.